You know, too many people are caught up in the noise of the world. They're looking left, they're looking right, comparing their progress to someone else's, measuring their value by somebody else's standard. But here's the truth. You were not created to follow someone else's path. You were born to blaze your own trail, to own your lane. When you start comparing yourself to others, you lose sight of your purpose. And when you lose sight of your purpose, you become distracted. You lose your power, you lose your fire. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you're supposed to have it all figured out. Society, social media, even your friends and family, they all have expectations for you. But I want you to hear me clearly when I say this. Your journey is yours and yours alone. Nobody else can walk it for you, and nobody else can determine its success. Only you can do that. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how old you are. And it doesn't matter how much you've been through. What matters is that you take full responsibility for your life and commit to staying in your lane. You've got to stop letting everyone else tell you what you should be doing, how fast you should be moving, or what your next steps should be. If you keep focusing on other people's success, you're going to miss the opportunities that are right in front of you. There's a reason you're here, a reason you have the dreams you have, and that's not by accident. The sooner you realize that, the faster you'll start making progress. Nobody else has your vision. Nobody else has your calling. So it's your responsibility to give it everything you've got. Not for the praise, not for the applause, but for the impact you're here to make. You see, greatness doesn't come from following the crowd. It comes from standing apart and doing the hard work when no one is watching. It's easy to be distracted by what everyone else is doing, to scroll through social media and think, wow, they're doing so well. Why am I not there yet? But that's where we get it wrong. They're not on your path. They're on theirs. Your journey doesn't have to look like theirs, and your timing doesn't have to match theirs either. The truth is, while you're out there comparing yourself to people who've already made it, you're missing the step-by-step grind that they had to go through. You're skipping over their sacrifice, their hustle, their late nights and their early mornings. The victory that you see, that you envy, didn't happen overnight. It came from years of being focused, being persistent, and most importantly, staying true to their path. Now, I'm not saying don't look at others for inspiration. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to admire people and learn from their journey, but don't lose yourself in their story. It's not about copying someone else's steps. It's about finding your own rhythm, your own pace, and sticking with it long enough to see it through. Focus on your growth, not your comparison. Focus on what you're learning today that'll make you better tomorrow. Focus on making progress every single day, even if that progress is small. Every step forward is a victory, even if it's not the giant leap you thought you'd take. You've got to realize that victory isn't always in the big moments. Sometimes it's in those quiet, incremental victories, the things you do when nobody's watching, when it feels like nobody cares. That's where real growth happens. The most important part of this journey is realizing that you're not in competition with anyone else. The only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. That's it. If you can focus on improving yourself, on learning from your mistakes, on becoming better each day, then the victory will come. It's not about trying to outdo someone else or looking for external validation. It's about aligning with your own truth and your own goals. So many people fail because they're out here trying to be what the world wants them to be. They're chasing someone else's dream, someone else's definition of success. And when they fall short of that, they get discouraged. And that's where they quit. But you've got to ask yourself, what if I stop trying to live up to someone else's expectations and just focus on my own? Imagine how much power that would give you. Imagine the kind of energy you'd bring to every task, every challenge, every obstacle, when you're not worried about what everyone else thinks. Understand this, your lane is unique, and it requires something that only you can offer. The gifts, the talents, the skills that you have are for you to use, not to impress someone else, but to serve the world in your own way. You're not here by mistake. You were made for something big, but it will only happen when you stop chasing other people's dreams and focus entirely on your own. This is about commitment. You can't play with this. You have to dedicate yourself to your path, to your lane, with everything you have. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there will be challenges. But I promise you, when you are clear about your mission, when you are laser focused on what you're meant to do, nothing, absolutely nothing can stand in your way. And let me tell you something. The moment you get serious about your own growth, the moment you stop looking around and start looking within, that's the moment things will start shifting. You'll begin to see progress. You'll start to feel the change in the way you work, the way you think, the way you approach each day. It's all about putting the time, the energy, and the focus into yourself. And when you do that, not only will you win, but you'll win on your terms, with your unique blueprint for success. So I'm telling you right now, stop letting the world dictate your pace, your path, your purpose. Own your lane, focus on you, and keep moving forward. Because when you do, victory won't be a matter of if. It will be a matter of when. Listen, discipline is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but let me tell you something. It's the difference between winning and losing, between living your dream or just dreaming about it. People often think discipline is about being hard on yourself, about being strict, but let me give it to you straight. Discipline is love. If you truly love yourself, you're going to put in the work, no excuses, no shortcuts. And let me tell you, nobody's going to do it for you. You can't wait for someone to come and push you. You have to learn to push yourself. When we talk about self-discipline, we're not just talking about getting up early or hitting the gym. It's about taking control of every single moment of your life. It's about setting a standard for yourself that you won't compromise on, no matter what distractions come your way. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency, about showing up even when you don't feel like it, about doing the work when you're exhausted, when it feels impossible, when the world feels like it's falling apart. That's the moment that counts. That's when discipline separates the winners from the dreamers. Here's the thing. There's no magic in success. No one is born with some special gift that guarantees them greatness. You know what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't? It's the ones who understand that success isn't a feeling. It's a series of habits that you build over time. Success is built in the moments when you don't want to do what you know you need to do. It's when you make that phone call even though you're tired. It's when you keep going even though the world is telling you to stop. Success is about doing what you know you need to do, not what you feel like doing. So many people fail because they mistake motivation for discipline. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up ready to crush the world, and other days you don't even want to get out of bed. But discipline is there every day, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is what gets you through the tough times, the setbacks, the challenges. You don't need motivation to stay disciplined. You just need the commitment to keep going, to make the decision every single day that your future is worth more than your comfort right now. And here's where it gets real. Discipline is not easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. But this is where greatness lives, in the grind. You've got to show up even when it's hard, even when you'd rather quit. The difference between someone who makes it and someone who doesn't is not talent or luck. It's the ability to get back up, to push through the pain, to make one more phone call, to write one more page, to run one more mile, even when every part of you is screaming for you to stop. You need to stop making excuses, stop telling yourself that you're too tired, that you don't have enough time, that it's too hard. Let me tell you, it's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, it wouldn't be worth it. The struggle is the process. The pain is the transformation. But the only way to grow is to embrace the discipline to push through it all. You don't get to skip the hard part. You don't get to bypass the struggle. You've got to go through it. And in going through it, you become stronger. You become better. You become more capable. The journey itself is the reward. You've heard it before, but it's true. Nobody achieves greatness without sacrifice. You think the greats just showed up one day, got lucky, and everything fell into place? No, they paid the price. They put in the hours. They worked while others were sleeping, stayed focused when others were distracted, and kept pushing when others gave up. That's what discipline looks like. Discipline isn't just about waking up early and going to the gym. It's about how you show up for yourself in the everyday moments. It's about making those small, sometimes painful choices over and over that align with the vision you have for your life. You have to stop negotiating with laziness. You have to stop making deals with your comfort zone. Every time you give in to that voice that tells you to take it easy, that's one step further away from your goal. Every time you skip a day, that's a day you're never going to get back. But if you can push through, if you can show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it, that's when the magic happens. That's when the discipline turns into results. The truth is, you are capable of so much more than you realize. We all are. But you have to be willing to tap into that potential and work for it. You have to be willing to say, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, I will not quit. I will keep going. That's what separates the winners from the ones who just won it. You have to be willing to put in the time, the effort, and the heart day after day without waiting for someone to give you permission. You're building the life you want one decision at a time. It's the small choices you make every day, whether you get up early or sleep in, whether you show up or stay home, whether you keep pushing or give up. It's those little moments that add up to something big. Discipline is what gives you the power to make the right choice over and over again, even when it's hard, even when it hurts. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Start now, start where you are, and start with what you have. Your future is in your hands, and the key to unlocking it is in your ability to stay disciplined no matter what. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work, and you will see the results. You will. Discipline is the foundation on which you build your success. And once you make it a habit, it becomes unstoppable. There's a reason why so many people fall short of their potential. And it's not because they don't have the talent or the skills. It's because they let the noise of the world drown out their purpose. You've got to understand that the world will always try to pull you in a million different directions. People will always have opinions about what you should do, how you should do it, when you should do it. But here's the thing. You weren't born to live for everyone else's expectations. You were born to fulfill a mission, your mission. And that mission doesn't come from anyone else. It comes from deep inside of you. But if you let the noise distract you, if you let other people's opinions and judgments control your actions, you'll never get where you need to go. So let me tell you this, silence the noise. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be in everyone's business. And you certainly don't need to be getting caught up in things that don't serve your purpose. You have to get to a point where you can drown out all the chatter and focus on your own voice. The one that's telling you what's important, what matters, and what's worth your energy. You've got to protect your peace. Because when you let the distractions take over, when you start listening to the opinions of everyone around you, you lose focus, you lose clarity. And the longer you let that happen, the further away you get from your goals. People think they need constant validation. They want likes on their posts. They want applause for their efforts. They want everyone to know they're doing something important. But here's the reality. True focus doesn't need an audience. The most powerful work, the most meaningful work is often done in the quiet when nobody's watching. You've got to stop looking for constant approval from the outside world. The only approval you need is from yourself, from the inside. And the only way you get that is by staying true to your mission, by staying focused on your purpose, and by making decisions that align with the vision you have for your life. I know it's hard. The pressure is real. The noise is real. Everyone's got something to say, and everybody's got an opinion on what you should be doing. But that's when you have to double down and say, I'm not listening to anyone else but me. when you protect your peace, when you guard your energy, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start moving at a different speed. Because when you're focused on your mission and not on other people's distractions, you're operating on a different level. You have to stop allowing people to steal your energy. The world is full of distractions, people who are negative, people who doubt you, people who don't understand your vision. And here's the hard truth. They will keep trying to pull you down. But you've got to make a decision. Are you going to let that energy affect you? Or are you going to keep moving forward regardless? Are you going to let someone's opinion stop you from pursuing your dream? Or are you going to stay committed to what you know is possible for your life? It's easy to let other people's doubts become your doubts. It's easy to hear someone say, that's impossible, and start to believe it yourself. But let me tell you something, if you let other people define your limits, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. You have to block out the negativity and focus on what's possible. The moment you stop giving your energy to things that don't serve you is the moment you take back control of your life. Guard your energy. Be careful with who and what you allow to influence you. Some people are like energy vampires. They drain you, they take away from your focus, and they leave you feeling exhausted and empty. You don't need that. You need people and things that lift you up, that encourage your vision, that help you grow. Surround yourself with the kind of people who push you to be better, not the ones who drag you down. Because when you're focused on your purpose, you're going to need every ounce of energy to keep moving forward. You can't afford to waste it on things or people that don't matter. And I get it. You might feel like you're being selfish by cutting out the noise, by not giving everyone your time and attention. But let me tell you something. Self-care is not selfish. Protecting your peace is necessary for your success. If you're constantly giving your energy to others, constantly responding to every request, every distraction, you won't have anything left for your own dream. You won't have the focus, the drive, the passion, or the energy to pursue what really matters. So don't feel bad for setting boundaries. Don't feel bad for saying no to things that don't serve your purpose. You have a mission, you have a vision, and that requires undivided attention. If you want to win, you've got to become a master at protecting your energy. This is a daily decision. It's not just about cutting out negative people. It's about filtering what you expose yourself to. The media, the conversations, the things you read, the things you watch. All of it affects your energy, your focus, your mindset. You have to be intentional about what you consume, because what you feed your mind directly impacts what you bring into the world. You can't afford to be distracted by things that won't help you move forward. You can't afford to waste your time on things that take away from your focus. And when you learn to protect your peace, you'll start to see how much more power you have. You'll see how much more you can accomplish when you're not letting the world dictate your every move. Your energy is your most valuable asset. And once you understand that, you'll guard it fiercely. The world is loud. The distractions are real. But the real winners are the ones who can silence the noise and stay focused on their mission. When you protect your peace, when you guard your energy, that's when you start winning. Because now you're working on your terms, not the world's. And that's where success starts. With clarity, with focus, with an unwavering commitment to your vision. So protect your peace and get to work. Let me tell you something. The journey to success is never as glamorous as people make it seem. It's not all hype and bright lights. The road is long, the work is hard, and most of the time, you're going to feel like no one sees you. You'll be working in the dark, pushing yourself to the limit, and at times it will feel like you're invisible, but here's the secret. Just because no one sees you doesn't mean you're not winning. The most powerful thing you can do is keep showing up, especially when it feels like no one notices. We live in a world that's obsessed with instant gratification. People want everything now. They want the results without the work, the recognition without the struggle. But that's not how real success works. Real success is built in silence. It's built in the moments when you're by yourself, grinding, doing the work when nobody's watching. Those are the moments that count. You may feel like you're putting in all this effort, but no one is giving you credit. But listen, it's not about the applause, it's about the process. You've got to understand that the grind doesn't come with instant rewards. You're not going to be celebrated every step of the way. Most of the time, nobody's going to tell you good job or even notice the sacrifices you're making. But it's in those unseen moments that your character is built. It's in those moments that your strength grows, your skills develop, and your vision becomes clearer. Every hour you put in when no one is looking, every sacrifice you make, every single day you show up when others would quit, that's when you're winning. The truth is, most people quit because they don't see the immediate results of their work. They don't see the end game, and they get discouraged when the progress doesn't come fast enough. But the progress is happening, whether you see it or not. Every time you push yourself to keep going, even when things aren't looking the way you thought they would, you're laying the foundation for your breakthrough. The work you do today, the effort you put in, the hours you sacrifice, that's the investment in your future success. You've got to be willing to stay committed even when the world doesn't acknowledge you. Don't get caught up in seeking external validation. Don't let the lack of recognition stop you from pushing forward. The truth is, most people never make it because they quit too soon. They stop just before the breakthrough. They stop just before the success that was waiting on the other side. But if you can learn to keep showing up even when nobody is watching, that's when you'll rise above the crowd. Because those who stay in the game, who keep going, who keep pushing through when the going gets tough, are the ones who end up winning. It's easy to get discouraged. I get it. There are days when you'll feel like no one sees how hard you're working. You might feel like your efforts are going unnoticed, like you're stuck in a cycle of grind with no end in sight. But let me tell you, the work you do in private is the foundation for the public success you're after. Nobody talks about the behind-the-scenes struggle, the late nights, the sacrifices, the times you want to quit but keep going anyway. Those are the moments that make the real difference. They build your character. They shape you into the person capable of handling the success that's coming. Remember this, you're not just working for today, you're building for tomorrow. The effort you put in now is the groundwork for everything that's coming. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean they're not on the way. Every single effort, every time you push past your limits, every time you continue to show up even when it's tough, you're laying the bricks for the success that's just around the corner. And here's the thing, this journey, it's not about being perfect. It's not about always getting it right. It's about consistency. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about putting in the work even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. Because success doesn't always happen in one big moment. It happens in the accumulation of small victories, the little wins that add up day after day. That's where true success is found. It's not in the big moments of applause, but in the quiet consistency that leads to greatness. So keep showing up even when you're tired, even when it feels like no one is noticing, even when it feels like you're alone in your fight. Your breakthrough is coming, and the work you're putting in now is what will bring you there. Don't be discouraged by the lack of recognition. Don't be discouraged by the moments when it feels like the world has forgotten you. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Every time you show up, every time you stay committed, every time you push through the frustration, you're winning. And one day when you look back, you'll realize that those days when no one was watching, those were the days that made all the difference. Don't quit just because no one's applauding you yet. Keep moving, keep grinding, keep showing up. The victory is coming.